Melody Cherie has proven that no matter how hard life tries to knock her down, she won't stay there. When Martell Holt tried to take her children away by filing for full custody, many thought she might break under the pressure. But instead, Melody stood firm, refused to give in, and showed the world exactly why she's not only a survivor, but also a woman thriving in every sense of the word. His attempt to seize custody didn't just fail, it backfired. What he thought would make him look like the stronger parent only revealed his true intentions. Have you ever seen someone rise so gracefully that their ex starts to look foolish by comparison? That's exactly what's happening with Melody right now. She didn't ignore the chaos or pretend it never happened. She rebuilt from the ground up. Every step she takes today is proof of her strength. When you look at her now, it's like watching someone who was underwater for years finally come up for air. She's glowing, she's peaceful, and she's moving forward. Meanwhile, Martell is busy trying to create a picture-perfect family with his mistress-turned-partner, and it just doesn't land. The most powerful thing about Melody is that she doesn't need to shout about her wins. She doesn't need to scream, "I'm happy," from the rooftops. Her presence says it all. Every photo, every appearance, every live video carries the energy of peace and healing. You can tell she has done the inner work. She isn't just surviving anymore, she's thriving. And when someone thrives like that, it's contagious. Even people who don't normally watch reality TV find themselves saying, "Wow, she looks amazing." But the real story isn't just her glow, it's the way she shows up for her children. On social media, so many people stage moments to look perfect, using filters and captions to convince the world of a fairy tale. Melody doesn't need any of that. Her motherhood is authentic. She's in the kitchen dancing with her kids, she's cheering them on at school events, she's laughing with them in the car. Those kids know without a doubt that they are loved, safe, and valued. That's something you can't fake. That's what real winning looks like. Martell, on the other hand, seems stuck in the past. He moves as if he's replaying old mistakes on a loop. His attempt to gain full custody came across as a desperate strategy, not a genuine act of love. The public saw right through it. Parents don't suddenly demand full custody unless they're trying to prove a point or assert control. Instead of looking like a caring father, Martell came across as controlling and manipulative. And then there's the never-ending drama with Ariane. Their relationship feels less like a love and more like a performance. Every time they try to show off happy family moments online, people roll their eyes. The public hasn't forgotten the beginning, the cheating, the lies, the pain. No amount of polished photos or staged captions can erase that history. Instead of admiration, they get sarcasm and side comments. Ariana, especially, seems stuck in a cycle of responding to Melody rather than creating her own lane. Whether it's throwing shade, posting subliminal messages, or clapping back at fans, her energy feels rooted in insecurity. Instead of building her own story, she's trapped in Melody's shadow. The audience sees it. They know who's focused on growth and who's obsessed with appearances. And Melody, she doesn't even blink. She doesn't waste time trading insults or addressing negativity. She's too busy building her career, growing her brand, speaking at events, signing business deals, and most importantly, being there for her children. That's what real power looks like: consistency, discipline, and peace. It's almost unbelievable when you think about how things used to be. Just a few years ago, Martell seemed confident, smug even, convinced he was in control of the story. He believed he could dictate how people viewed him and Melody. But today, that image has collapsed. His posts feel forced, his smiles look tired, his attempts at damage control fall flat because receipts from his past overshadow every effort. And the internet? It never forgets. Martell thought filing for full custody would make him look like the devoted father fighting for his kids. Instead, it revealed ego and spite. The timing, the energy, the motive, it was all transparent. People could see it wasn't about protecting the children, it was about punishing Melody. It was about power. And when the courts didn't immediately take his side, when the fans didn't cheer him on, and when Melody kept showing up as a steady, loving mother, his plan crumbled. Suddenly, instead of looking like a hero, Martell looked like a man trying to weaponize the legal system against the mother of his kids. And that never goes unnoticed. Judges respect mothers who show up with consistency, and Melody has done exactly that. Every school pickup, every game, every hug, she's there. That's the kind of devotion no court can ignore. But Martell's troubles don't end in the courtroom. His relationship with Arione is another storm cloud hanging over him. Maybe he thought turning his affair into a public relationship would help change the narrative. Maybe he assumed people would eventually accept it. But it hasn't worked. No matter how many family photos they post, people remember how it started, with betrayal. You can't build stability on broken trust. The problem is, instead of creating something genuine away from the spotlight, Martell and Ariane keep performing for the very audience that's already left the theater. Their happiness feels staged, and staged joy never lasts. Filters and captions can't hide dysfunction. People see through it, and every time Ariane lashes out online, it only makes things worse. Meanwhile, Melody doesn't need to say a word. Her silence speaks louder than any insult ever could. She is proof that peace is the loudest flex after chaos. She didn't fight Martell with drama, she fought with discipline, focus, and grace. She didn't clap back, she simply lived. And by living authentically, she became the very image of what Martell once wanted to appear as: the dependable parent, the role model, the solid foundation. The irony is painful. Martell wanted control. He wanted to be the center of the story. But in chasing that control, he lost the one thing he wasn't prepared to lose: public sympathy. People don't pity him, they see through him, and they admire Melody. What makes her story resonate worldwide, especially with single mothers, is not just that she survived the storm, it's that she rebuilt her life in broad daylight, piece by piece, with her children beside her. There's no bitterness in her eyes anymore. Instead, there's clarity and purpose. Every move she makes now has meaning, whether it's starting a new project, attending her kids' events, or simply showing moments of their daily lives. She's not doing it to prove anything. She's doing it because it's her life. And that authenticity is rare. That's why people are drawn to her. That's why her glow shines brighter than any staged photo Martell and Oriana post. Real joy can't be faked. You don't have to announce it every 5 minutes when you truly feel it. It shows in the way you carry yourself. Melody doesn't need to say she's radiant, she simply radiates. And her children? They'll remember every moment of her presence. Not for likes, not for attention, but for love. That's how trust is built. That's how safe, happy memories are formed. And that's why Melody is winning in ways Martell never anticipated. At one time, Martell believed he couldn't lose. He thought he could manipulate the story to his advantage. But now, the smoke has cleared, and what's left is simple: a man scrambling to repair the mess he created, and a woman who walked through fire and came out shining brighter than ever. Even now, with the odds clearly in her favor, Melody isn't bragging. She isn't calling names or throwing shade. She doesn't need to. Her life tells the story for her. The real victory is in her silence, her peace, her consistency. That's the kind of power Martell can't take away. Because here's the truth: Martell may have started this war, but Melody finished it. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with growth. He underestimated her strength, and now the world sees it. Melody didn't just get her groove back, she built a life that can't be touched by bitterness, fake posts, or failed custody battles. She's grounded, she's strong, she's unstoppable. While Martell and Ariana are still performing for applause that no longer exists, Melody is living authentically, without apology. And in that life, she has found the greatest freedom of all: peace. At the end of the day, this entire situation speaks for itself. Martell may have believed that trying to take Melody's children would give him the upper hand, but the truth came out in the clearest way possible. His actions were never about love or protection, they were about power. And power built on ego never lasts. Melody, on the other hand, didn't need to fight dirty. She simply chose peace, stayed focused on her children, and built her life brick by brick until no storm could shake it. What makes her story so powerful is that she never had to prove anything to anyone. She let her actions speak, and the results are undeniable. Her children are happy, her brand is thriving, and her glow is impossible to ignore. That's real strength. That's resilience. And that's why so many people connect with her journey. So while Martell and Ariane continue putting on a show for an audience that's already moved on, Melody stands as living proof that peace is the greatest revenge. She didn't just survive, she rose. And now, her life is the loudest statement of all.